For Telesur, I'm Cody Weddle in Caracas, Venezuela. We start today in the U.S. state of Missouri, where protests have once again broke out after another black teenager was shot by an off-duty police officer. According to family members, 18-year-old Vonderick Myers was armed only with a sandwich when he was shot 16 times by an officer Wednesday night. Authorities claim Myers was armed and fired shots at the officer. Protests escalated throughout the night. The incident follows other demonstrations calling for justice in nearby Ferguson, where the shooting of black teen Michael Brown sparked mass civil unrest in August. So far, the police have offered various but conflicting accounts of the events. Mike Brown! We go now to Syria, where 1/3 of the town of Kobani on the border with Turkey has been seized by Islamic State insurgents. A 3-week struggle continues between the town's mostly Kurdish population and Islamic State militants. Despite the violence, Turkey and other international organizations have failed to help. Some speculate that the inaction by Turkey is a deliberate strategy to diminish the Kurdish fighters who Turkey regards as terrorists. U.S.-led airstrikes in the region have also failed to halt the group's advance. Outraged at their government's inaction, thousands of Turks have taken to the streets in the past 48 hours. The protests and police response have left at least 21 people dead. The military imposed a curfew in some areas Wednesday, something which has not been done for some 20 years. The most intense protests were in the country's main Kurdish city of Diyarbakir, where demonstrations continued overnight. We move to Mexico now, where thousands of people marched in the capital Wednesday demanding justice in the case of the 43 students still missing in Guerrero State. The students were taken after 6 members of their group were killed by police in September. Corrupt police have been blamed for the kidnapping. The military has taken control of the town. Meanwhile, DNA from a mass grave is being analyzed to determine if the bodies are those of the students. And elsewhere in Latin America, with just 3 days to go before Bolivian elections, the country's electoral silence law is in effect. The measure prevents campaigning in the streets or in media. As we here at Telesur prepare for the elections, head to our website for an exclusive interview with incumbent President Evo Morales. Morales is widely expected to win a landslide victory. He has been in office since 2006. And to Brazil we go, where third-place presidential candidate Marina Silva will support Aécio Neves in the country's second-round runoff election. Her support will give the neoliberal runner-up's campaign a boost against incumbent Dilma Rousseff. Neves has pitched himself as the candidate of change for the country, while Rousseff is reminding voters of her party's successes in Brazil's economic and social landscape. Voters head to the polls on October 26th. And to the Middle East, where both Yemen and Iraq have seen deadly suicide bomb attacks in the last 24 hours. At least 42 people, many of them children, died Thursday in the Yemeni capital of Sana'a. That's where the Shiite Muslim Houthi movement had planned to hold a rally. The Houthis are the country's main power brokers since their paramilitary forces seized the capital on September 21st. Meanwhile, in a separate incident, at least 20 soldiers died in the east of the country after a suicide bomber drove a car full of explosives into an army camp. No one has claimed responsibility for either attack. And in Ukraine, fighting once again has centered around the airport in the self-proclaimed People's Republic of Donetsk. Separatist fighters still claim to control the city in their struggle for independence from Kiev. Despite a ceasefire agreed upon at the beginning of September, the UN has reported that at least 10 people have died every day since then. Figures put the total death toll of the conflict at over 3,600. The Palestinian Unity Government, comprised of the rival groups Hamas and Fatah, will meet in Gaza. They will discuss how to use international aid to help rebuild the region. For what conclusions they might reach, we turn to our Gaza correspondent, Noor Harazin.
A historical Palestinian meeting is being held right now behind me in that building. No one would ever imagine from the residents of Palestine that in one day the Palestinian Prime Minister Rami Alhamdulillah alongside Fatah officials from the West Bank will be in the Gaza Strip in order to meet in the new unity government. This step is considered a big positive step in order to ease the hardships felt on the ground on the Gaza Strip. Rami Alhamdulillah, the Palestinian Prime Minister, said that the days of the Palestinian division between Fatah and Hamas are over after today, and he also said that they will be discussing very important issues like the rebuilding of the Gaza Strip, also opening the borders into the Gaza Strip, such as Rafah border. At the same time, they will be providing work opportunities to Gaza youth and Gaza workers. At the same time, they said that they will be bringing hope back to the Gaza Strip. So the residents right now are happy. They did not expect such day to come, but however, it is happening. And as Rami Alhamdulillah said, the days of the Palestinian division between Fatah and Hamas are over.
And thanks to Noor. French writer Patrick Modiano has won the 2014 Nobel Prize for Literature. Considered to be one of the most important European writers alive, Modiano's novels are known for being based in France during the period of Nazi occupation. For more on the announcement, we turn to our correspondent Monica Molano in Frankfurt, who caught up with Modiano's editor.
Modiano's work is based on researching the past. His family history, in which he deals with the Nazi occupation in France, and the questionable actions of his mother and father. He became something obsessed with this, and also for Paris. And he was almost like a map maker of Paris. All of his novels contained the houses, the streets of Paris. You could reconstruct old Paris based on his books.
We have plenty more on those stories and others at our website, telesurtv.net/English. For Telesur English, I'm Cody Weddle.